All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to demonstrate some of the immediate results that you can expect from a Proof Research barrel. The specs on this barrel, it's obviously steel. It's an M24 contour chambered 6.5 Creedmoor, the 1-in-8 twist, and the length of this barrel is 26 inches. For the load development, I used virgin Lapua Brass, CCI 450 primers. I did my load development with H4350, and for bullets, I was shooting Berger 140 grain hybrids. I'll put it just in this video, some of the seating depth. I think generally it shot pretty good. I've owned several Proof Research barrels. I've owned Bartley and so on and so forth. I think for the price point, this is shooting well enough for me able to compete at the level of shooter and reloader that I am today. For groupings, believe it or not, I used a load that I developed probably 3 years ago with a pocket scale to break this in, and that load was a 5-shot group using 143 grain ELDX. Now, for some of the other loads, I did get, my standard deviations were phenomenal. The groupings weren't as tight as I would have liked. However, I know that just as I fine-tuned my seating depth, my groupings are going to tighten up a lot more. Other couple consideration factors as I just get closer towards the season is, one, I got to get a couple hundred rounds down the pipe here just to break the barrel in, and two, I need to fire off all of my Lapua Brass just so I get a first firing and can prep that brass just for some more consistency. So without further ado, let's get to what this barrel looks like on the inside, and then get to firing some of the groups for you guys. And for a visual inspection of the barrel, that is the inside of the crown, you can fast forward to 4 minutes and 19 seconds to skip this part, but I just want to demonstrate to you guys what this barrel looks like from the factory. There's a few signs of, kind of almost as if some pitting right here. Not really concerned to me. Honestly, I've had barrels that I've never cleaned that have been pitted, specifically a Tico barrel, and they've shot great. It looks like generally there's a few tooling marks throughout the barrel. Nothing that I'm really overly concerned about. Now, just for safety and what I did before firing is I did run a kind of, I think the material is nylon, but a non-copper brush through the bore. I did run a wet patch and dry patch just to clean it out. As we get towards the end of this barrel, you will start to see some more of the machining and tooling marks, not necessarily chatter towards the chamber of this barrel, but you can tell that compared to like a Bartley, it's not as polished. But again, not too concerned. The results provided in this video, I got plenty to work with to be able to compete at the level and skill set that I am today. So for the first grouping, my GoPro died, so I don't have footage of me firing. I'll make this grouping quick for you. All right, guys, and unfortunately for my 5th round, I had a primer failure. I waited a moment just to ensure that it didn't go off, and I tried one more attempt, and unfortunately it did fail for me. This is the first primer failure of this lot. All right, guys, and here are the on-paper results. I had a CTBO of 2.2800, and then I did use Hornady's overall length gauge and measured my jam at 2.2885, so I will adjust some seating depth. Looking at point of aim number 3, so this was ammunition I loaded a few years ago with a pocket scale. Shoots great. I didn't record the standard deviation for it. This was my second string in the barrel break-in procedure, so I had a lot of hope that I was actually going to get some insane results with this. Looking at point of aim number 1, 41.2 grains, did have a 0.849 inch grouping. The standard deviation was 6.7 for that, with an average feet per second of 2713. Looking at point of aim 2, that was 41.5 grains, H4350. Had an average of 2736, a grouping of 1.451 inches, and a standard deviation of 15.4. Now, looking at the remainder of my 4 last groups, point of aim 1 was using 41.8 grains of H4350. I had a grouping size of 0.761 inches and average 2761. Standard deviation of 4.3, which I've never gotten underneath 5 before, so I was excited to see that. This is a load I've selected that I'm going to fine-tune the seating depths for, and I expect the muzzle velocity to certainly increase as the barrel breaks in, and we'll see how that affects the groupings. Moving to point of aim number 2, using 42.1 grains of H4350 at a grouping of 1.108 inches, an average of 2787, and a standard deviation of 8.4. Point of aim number 3, using 42.4 grains of H4350. This is a 0.842 inch group, an average of 2802. Muzzle velocity, and a standard deviation of 5.4. I think this grouping could be another grouping that I could adjust seating depth with, so I'm going to ponder on that. Knowing that my barrel break-in will speed up muzzle velocity, I may choose that slower node just for I typically see better results with slower nodes, so I may chase the 41.8. Moving on to point of aim number 4, this is my final grouping, and this was 42.8 grains of H4350. Another good grouping that could be fine-tuned. This is 0.886 inches. It had an average muzzle velocity of 2829 and a standard deviation of 6.9. I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said in the beginning, this is just the initial impression for my barrel. I do plan on publishing more content for you guys just as this barrel progresses and I fine-tune some of my loads for it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.